day of the shoot, I went to pick up some things, and the idea came to mind, and then I saw the glasses, and I put them back 3 times. I was like, I just don't see it, you know. And then after I grabbed them, I was like, if anything, I can put them off to the side and not use them. It ended up being like the kind of the focal point of it, just because it was, to me, the glasses represent confusion in the trance of like in a state of not really knowing or understanding what's happening, and that character in itself is a dangerous character. I would say so. Yeah, sorry. Just that was just a quick off of your little intro of not being from here anymore. I feel like there's still pieces of me here, but
of course.
But yeah, hell yeah, I'm happy to be here, man. Spent a lot of time in my truck to get here. I drove all the way from Colorado.
Yes, that's a long drive.
It was.
Yes.
15 and a half hours.
Jeez.
Gives me time to listen to my music, though.
Yeah, you need that time.
I get to study it and come up with new creative things to go along with the fun, you know. So, but what's up, Pasty?
I'm pretty fucking zoning out here thanks to Mr. Izzy Dunfore. Little pre-party before the show.
Yeah, I brought some blackberry cream kush in from the Mile High City, and I got Pasty a Mile High. I can see right now he's like, are we what?
What? I'm trying to ground myself, folks. I was inputting the information into Facebook to share the episode, and I'm like, I don't know how to operate a keyboard right now. What am I going to do with myself? I don't smoke like this no more. But nice. I do when I'm with Dunfore.
Yes, sir. Dunfore. 100%. We stay that way.
So, The World Is Done For. The trilogy. I was hoping for this. As soon as 2 dropped, I'm like, 3. I think I commented that, didn't I? Like, you dropped 2, and I'm like, okay, 3. Where's 3?
We did discuss it.
Let's
Absolutely. It's always been the idea that there were more than one part. I've fallen on 4 parts is what it's going to be in the end. Part 4 will probably be a lot more elaborate than the first 3, because I think it needs to be. If it's going to be the end of the series, it needs to be the big bang.
Oh, yeah.
The world really is done for. Part forever.
Yes. Snap the Infinity Gauntlet.
There's a lot to come, man. I've got so many ideas. Like, really, this album is just getting wrapped up and getting ready to be released. And I've got a lot of plans for it, and I've got plans for the future, and I've got ideas that I can't wait to share with people, but a lot of them are just going to be inside of my head until they happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lovely thing.
And it is lovely. So far, we've heard 2 songs off the new album, and we will be sharing them with you tonight, as well as debuting a all-new song.
Never heard, exclusive.
Never heard.
Right here on Get Local Minnesota. I've never really held back before, you know what I mean? Like, when I had new music in the past, I've just let it go. Like,
get it out there.
Here you go, have it. I've put it in people's hands. I've been giving my albums away since 2005. If somebody doesn't have it, I want them to have it. But with this particular album and project, I've just been a little bit more restricted with it and keeping it to myself, because I think it's got a different potential than my other or past projects have had.
Yeah, you were talking about that in one of your live streams recently.
It's just got a different feel to it, man, and it's a very real energy that I'm very proud of, and that I feel like I captured just a lot of grief and grieving in a lot of different ways and from a lot of different scenarios, in such a positive light and in such a different way than I have really probably expressed myself in the past.
Excellent.
That this album is it's a ride, and it's one that it's like the psychedelic Twister.
Yes. Izzy Dunfore's favorite Northern Lights song.
Yes. It's a lot like that, though, because it's a trip through my mind, and I think it's described well enough that you start to feel some of the things that I felt through the stories.
And
that are told.
emotionally fueled music, it creates the best music. Like the hardest hurts make the best music.
Absolutely, and
it's amazing how you can channel that negativity into something so positive, and it can help people and change lives.
You know, life has a lot of ups and downs, and the more extreme, I guess, or like, maybe that's not the right word for it, unique, I would say, the more unique my situation becomes, the more time I spend as a musician and get deeper into the game, if you will. It's interesting how some of the songs and the overall projects take their own ups and downs, and how they go through their own evolution, really. Which kind of reminds me, like, so this album, Lovely, I had done last year around November, probably, and was just about to again, let it go, let it out, let everybody have it.
I was just about to bring this up, too.
And I'd been talking with a friend who was living at the time in Tacoma, Washington, or in that area, and he and I went to school together in Edina, Minnesota, at Minneapolis Media Institute.
Nice.
So that's where we originally met. I graduated there 2015. He stayed through the bachelor program and graduated 2016, I believe. So in that time, we didn't know each other real well, but we talked quite a bit in the halls and stuff, and got to know each other as students. And through the years that we've both been out of school, we both relocated. I went to Denver, and he ended up being in Seattle for a while, and then up into Tacoma, Washington. But he was always sending me beats all the time. Like, here's what I'm doing now. And he was working off of a laptop, no keyboard, no, like, and this kid's a real producer. Like, I mean, he's sending me really good stuff, and I played it for a couple other people that are just like, holy cow, that kid's really talented. Who is that? And like, this kid I went to school with. And so I kept telling him, like, man, maybe you should just come hang out with me for a while and, you know, see if we can do some stuff in the studio or whatever. And we talked about it. He's like, yeah, I think I need to change my situation because it's not really working out up here. I'm not really finding anything that's working out or worthwhile. And so it kind of went on for months, to tell you the truth. And so April came, and he was finally like, I'm on my way. I'm going to come. That's it. Like, I'm doing it. I don't have a choice. So his roommate was going through a whole bunch of health issues, and he just needed a change, and he came and decided to give it a try. And so the first week or so, you know, he was making some beats I have a studio set up in my kitchen, so I have to look at it all the time. So I always feel like I need to be doing some work. So I was playing the album for him, and he was listening to it. You know, this is pretty good, and I think I can maybe, you know, make a few adjustments and make it sound a little bit better than it does right now. And, you know, just let me spend a little time on it. I'm like, cool, man. You know, whatever. Go ahead. You know, I had no idea, like, how much he really could do, because in my mind, this was a final project. It was done and ready to go. And Chris Freeman is his name, by the way. We're sitting here talking about him, like Christopher Freeman. So he, I went to Las Vegas to just get away for a weekend, because I never ever do that ever. And I, for the first time in 3.5 years, just decided I'm going to take a weekend off and go. I was invited by a friend, and I went and just had a good time. And he sent me sing my song while I was out there. And when I heard it, I had to sit down and listen to it 3 times, because I was just like, okay, this is so much better than what I had planned to put out. Like, and it wasn't that I had done a bad job. He's just a much better engineer than I am. Like, and it's not hard for me to admit it, because my ears told me immediately, like, this kid's got the magic touch.
Well, it always helps to have an outside ear on your music too.
And not only that, but he's got his own experience and brings a lot of his own flavor to the game.
Oh yeah, it's different. I can definitely tell.
He's a talented kid in an artistic aspect, but also in an engineering and a production aspect. Like, he's he's really smart, and he knows how all the software and all the geeky stuff works. You know what I mean? And I'm impressed every day because he just doesn't stop. He'll sit in the studio and make something better and better and better until he's like, okay, I feel like this is probably it. And I mean, it impresses me that somebody has the drive just to continuously want to get better, because I don't see a lot of that out there. I really miss the passion that I feel like people used to have when they were maybe younger, or maybe just starting out, or hadn't been stepped on a whole bunch of times, you know, like.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I know. but he's really he's a good fit for what I've needed for a long time. And so he and I are working every day to, you know, create new music, and hopefully we can work with other people, you know, to get some new sounds into their resume, repertoire, library, whatever you want to say.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, we're looking for allies out there. We want to work with people who have the same goals that we do, and bigger, you know. I mean, we want to grow, and hopefully other people who want to grow will try to, you know, work with us in the same aspect. So that's what I guess new projects kind of breed new relationships and new opportunities, and with this new project in particular, I hope that we're able to construct not only the network that we've already built and reestablish some of those relationships, but I really hope that we can kind of start to cross over into some of the more, I don't want to say mainstream networks, but more of the broadcasted networks,
right?
Maybe might be the right word.
In 2019, it's totally feasible. You hear the people who get picked up and put out there on the radio for people to hear, and it's ridiculous.
It's a facepalm.
Yeah,
it hurts my heart as
There's
an artist.
There's a lot of talented music out there that gets overlooked for money.
Absolutely, that's a good way to put it. I know for years, even, you know, since back in the 70s, out in LA, they got people who will sign artists, and in return for signing them to that label, they'll turn over their whole sign-on bonus to those producers, or whatever the hell you want to call them. It's just, it's incestuous out there, and I'm never going to break that wall down. So in my mind, the only thing that I can do is be the strongest independent artist that I can be, which I've had that mindset, but I've always wanted people to like me, which is hard as an artist and as a person who is their own manager and their own touring agent and their own booking manager, merch guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets hard. So I'm at the point where, I mean, being rich and famous is not a goal, but being heard and hopefully being recognized for at least having talent is definitely the goal. 100%.
That's the point. That's the dream. That's why we do what we do.
Hell yes.
And you've been talking about, you know, new allies and new projects. And last week, Professor Fresh dropped a little bit of news. And I think we're going to get into that in just a couple of minutes.
Cool.
But I think first we're going to play that first single from The World Is Dunfore 3.
Sing My Song.
Yes. This is such a good one.
There's a video for it.
I can't tell you how many times I've watched the video.
Thank you.
Yes.
I really appreciate that, man. Like, I want this video to kind of be the breakthrough of a new Izzy Dunfore. You know, it
feels very new. It feels very fresh, with your same consistently amazing rap flow and delivery.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to this next chapter, 100%.
Hell yeah. Sing My Song. This is the first single.
Uh-huh. Here we go. That's lovely. Look here, you don't get to tell me what to do, can't make me. I don't really give a good goddamn lately. Sick of everyone and everything, no maybe. Always in my ear, about to drive me crazy. Get the hell away from me, don't wanna hear you talking. I can buy, it's only I and ain't no other option. Doing me, I'm telling you, you better take precaution. Stamina's no amateur, so pro exhaustion. California all around the world, back to Boston. Tell them I be doing what I want and living awesome. You don't want a problem with me, I don't wanna start one. Microphone gonna blow your heart all apart, son. Since NWA with O'Shea, I've been on the hustle for pay with no raise. Izzy busy busting the flow, they go crazy. When I tickle with the tongue, they kick it with both legs. You don't have to like how I live my life. No. Sleeping all day, go and kick it all night. No. Might not be It feels alright. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.